Well, let's go over to New York now because we can talk to actor, comedian, Hillary Clinton supporter John Fugelsang and political commentator and Trump supporter Kristen Tate. Very good morning to you. Now, Kristen, let me come to you first because the poll on CNN said that Hillary Clinton won the debate. Do you disagree vehemently?
Well, look, when you look at the debate as a whole, I think Trump won. He appeared very poised tonight. He did a good job at sticking to the issues and appearing presidential. However, I think he may have squandered that with his comment about maybe not conceding if Hillary wins the race. Unfortunately, no one's talking about the good job he did tonight. If you look at the headlines, before I came here, I looked at, the Washington Post, the New York Times, and the Daily Mail. All of the top headlines right now are about how Trump said he may not concede if Hillary wins. So unfortunately, although he had a phenomenal performance tonight, he kind of squandered it with that one comment.
That's interesting. So you're a Trump supporter. You would be voting for him. Does that change your vote?
It doesn't. I mean, I wish he hadn't have said that. I don't think it was politically smart. But the facts are that voter fraud does exist in this country. Earlier this week, Project Veritas, a group here in the U.S., released videos showing higher-ups in the DNC describing how they commit mass voter fraud by busing people in. We also know that there are about 2 million dead people in this country who are still registered to vote, as well as 3 million Americans who are registered in multiple states. So voter fraud exists. We just don't know the extent of it. So if this race turns out to be really close, maybe Donald Trump should, question the results. If Hillary wins in a clear landslide, though, I would surely hope he would concede.
Those votes obviously could go on either side of the debate, of course. It doesn't necessarily mean that if there's 2 million people that are dead, that they use those votes just for the Democrats. Let's just come to John quickly as well. John, does it say more about Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump in that after everything that he's been through, everything that's been thrown at him, everything he said, Donald Trump is still in this race and Hillary Clinton hasn't been able to, once and for all, get him out of it?
Well, you never get your opponent out of it until election night itself. And I must say, this particular election, I think, would probably make most of the folks in Britain glad they let the colonies go. I do want to correct something Kristen said. The New York Times did an extensive study on voter fraud in America. It's not a problem. It's not an issue. We're told it's an issue to pass voter ID laws, which generally make it harder for lower-income folks, college kids, and seniors to vote. The New York Times years-long studies show that over a billion ballots cast, there were less than 30 actual cases of people fraudulently voting. It's not a problem. It's a system that's used to make it harder for Americans to vote and deny them their right.
Yeah, and it is, but it is... Sorry, Chris, I was going to just say...
It's silly to assume that we know of all the voter fraud.
OK, I just want to move on to the performance of Hillary Clinton, just because we've got a limited amount of time, obviously, to discuss this just right at this moment. John, were you impressed by Hillary Clinton, or were you, if you're perfectly honest, slightly disappointed that she doesn't just blow your, the other candidate out of the room?
Oh, I'm more than slightly disappointed by it. I don't really understand why she persists in being a piñata here, but I assume they have a strategy and they know better than myself. I'm someone who once swore he would never, ever vote for Hillary Clinton, and now, thanks to Donald Trump and his supporters, I find myself obliged to enthusiastically vote for Hillary Clinton. I do think that she did well tonight. Her whole strategy for these debates has been to not fight back, but rather to give Trump just enough rope to hang himself, and that's worked for her. It's not worked as well as I would have liked, but you'll notice she's leading in most major American polls, and I do think that her strategy worked. Tonight, however, was the best debate performance of either of the candidates so far in this campaign.
Just one word answer from both of you, please. John, who's going to win on November the 8th?
Clinton.
Kristen?
Clinton, probably, but it's very unpredictable, so you never know. This is a very unpredictable election.
The most unpredictable,
yes.
Isn't it?
And we don't know whether Trump will accept it if Clinton does win, of course. He still hasn't said whether he's going to accept it.
Yes, Donald Trump wants you to know it's all rigged. Your vote doesn't count. Now, please go vote for him.